This is the real basis for greatness. Take a look at what Jim Collins wrote, the Stanford professor who wrote the book in 2001, From Good to Great, which was a consequence of his 5-year research of organizations that moved from good to great. With the help of his students at Stanford, he did an extensive study on what made these organizations great. And of course, the CEOs had much to contribute to it. So he mentions in the book that what was the distinctive factor in these organizations was not a CEO with bloated sense of self-esteem. Rather, he said, two things were very noticeable. First, of course, was the strong professional will of the CEO. And the second was the CEO's groundedness. They never valued themselves or considered themselves to be exceptional in any way. They identified themselves as being ordinary and as being like everybody else. This is the real basis for greatness. One of the most distinguished ladies in the world in the last 2 decades, she was on the top of the Forbes list of influential ladies for many years. And she was also considered the leader of the free world from the year 2015 till 2021. And she was the head of the European Union. Angela Merkel, the first lady Chancellor of Germany. She was Chancellor for 4 successive terms for a period of 16 years. In 2021, she just quit herself. And when she quit, all of Germany came out into their verandas and gave a standing ovation, applaud for 6 minutes. That Angela Merkel's sense of groundedness. During her chancellorship, she never gave any special favors to any of her relatives. She never indulged in fashions. Reporters asked, "We've been seeing you wearing the same style of clothes." She said, "I'm not a fashion model. I'm a government servant and I'm here to do a job." They asked her that, "Who does your laundry?" She said, "I put the clothes in the machine. My husband takes them out." She never had a housemaid. She would do her works all by herself. And she never purchased any properties. After her chancellorship, she went back to an apartment where she continues to live. Complete groundedness. One king of Europe who was known for his goodness was Henry IV of France. He was once riding his horse on the road when a commoner, as per the European customs, he removed his hat and bowed down in respect. And Henry IV, he did exactly the same. He removed his hat and bowed down in respect. People said, "Oh my God, you're showing your respect to a commoner?" Henry IV said, "I don't want people to think I don't even have the good manners that common people do." So, humbleness means to realize you are just ordinary. God may empower you in certain ways. Humble people are naturally grateful because they become conscious and aware of the blessings they have received. In contrast, those who are proud keep a sense of entitlement. Because I am special, I am entitled to this. Now look at the humbleness of this person. I asked him, how are you feeling? He said, Swamiji, I am feeling much better than I deserve to feel. This is a humble man. Pay attention to this very carefully. He says, I am feeling much better than I deserve to feel. I don't deserve all the graces that God has bestowed upon me. This is the sign of humbleness. And where there's pride, that gratitude is replaced by discontent. Why did the universe not give this to me? Why did the universe not give that to me? So when we cultivate humility, we naturally become happy with the sentiment of gratitude. Beyond that, humbleness makes us teachable because we realize our shortcomings and we are willing to listen to people when they point them out for us. On the other hand, if we are proud, we become upset if anybody tells us any of our defects. And the defects are there. But when nobody has the right to point them out to us, then those defects keep on festering inside and only increase and increase and increase. Consider the example of Nikola Kalinic. You know, those of you who followed the Soccer World Cup, one of the astonishing accomplishments was of Croatia, which reached the semi-finals. You know, the Soccer World Cup is one of the most competitive tournaments at the world level because people are soccer crazy. So many countries, the European countries, the South American countries, some of the ASEAN countries, and so many countries. And then for a country to reach the semi-finals is a big feat, and Croatia is such a tiny country. But in the previous Soccer World Cup was even more astonishing because Croatia reached the finals. That surprised everyone. Now when Croatia reached the World Cup, in their 22 players, they had only 2 specialist strikers. One was Mario Mandzukic and the other was Nikola Kalinic. In the first match, Nikola Kalinic was kept on the bench for the first 50 minutes. That upset him tremendously. I'm a specialist striker. How can they do this to me? In the 50th minute, the coach, he asked him to go in as a substitute. And Kalinic refused. I am not a substitute. I'll not go in. The coach said, please go in. He again refused. The coach sent in another player. At the end of the match, people asked Kalinic to apologize. He said, I will not apologize. So they packed his bags and sent him back to Croatia. He went back there thinking, what will my team do? They are not going to get anywhere. Nobody's ever heard of Croatia doing well at the World Cup level. So he kept on posting on Facebook his pictures of enjoying here and there. But to everybody's surprise, Croatia reached the finals where they lost to France. And those players became national heroes. And Kalinic lost out because of his pride. So when we are proud, we become unteachable. If you think, I'm a jnani, your thirst for knowledge will finish. That thirst will only be there when you think, I am an ajnani. I really don't know. There's so much I still need to know. It's like the example of the disciple who went to a Guruji and sat with the Guru and said, Gurudev, please teach me meditation. Guruji was about to say something when the disciples started off, Guruji, I've learned a little about Kundalini Jagran and I've heard about these chakras. So then Guruji was about to say something else, and again he put in Sakshi Bhav is also one possible meditation. Again Guruji was going to say something. So then the Guru realized, and he asked another disciple to get 2 cups of milk. So both the cups were brought, one placed in front of the disciple, one in front of the Guru. The Guru asked for some more milk, and then he took it from the jug and started pouring into the disciple's cup. It was already full and it kept spilling outside. The disciple said, Gurudev, the cup is full. Why are you pouring into it? Gurudev was said, just to let you know, when the cup is full, there is no point pouring anything. It will slip out. You are already so full of your ideas, you don't have any scope for learning anything further. Humbleness counters this. When we are humble, we realize that we can learn from others, from the Guru, from our teachers, from our parents, from everyone. Dattatreya set the example with his 24 gurus, because the virtues of God are manifesting in everyone, and somebody who's perceptive has got so much to learn from each and every person.